have to sensitize our policemen, policewomen. I will tell you an incident similar incident where we had organized a sensitization workshop by TIS for our police officers. But this is sometimes back, so I hope India has changed. So after that whole sensitization issue about the issue of women, their need for their space, their need for freedom, independence, the officers listened, or they acted that they were listening and they were receptive. But I think at one point it just went beyond them, because their generation is not used to women asking for freedom, women asking for space, their need for their own self. So one officer got up and he said, if my daughter comes late and I slap her, so what if her husband slaps her? So you are so right. A constable who is ill-treating his wife, or who has a poor opinion about women, or issues which the new generation considers are cool, he thinks they are not. Now suddenly by donning a uniform, we cannot change his personality. So the need for sensitizing, retraining, I told you, your cop is probably never received any in-service training. What he learned for 9 months was law, CRPC, IPC, crowd control. Attitudes form a very small part of our course content, and then attitudes have changed. In last 30 years, India has changed. So it is a very big issue. Whenever I talk to citizens, many come forward and they understand the need for police for retraining its staff. Today I got an email from a young lady. She is a trained counselor. She had met me in a program, she said, in March, and she had offered services to counsel women in the women prison Yeroda. So today she had sent me an email that after she offered her services, how she is doing it and how women prisoners have taken so well to counseling. So while I take your point, I also expect that citizens to come forward with their expertise and offer their services to police department, which many a times they are doing. Hathbatti business and gambling. These are the two issues which bother police a lot. But now I am in charge of a police station. I have in Pune, I would have about a staff of 150 manpower. Now divided into 2 shifts. Then there is 1 murder, 1 chain snatching, 2 accidents, 1 case of bride burning or women burning, 1 morcha. So when you take down the list as a manager of a police station, which your senior inspector is, he decides the priority of dividing that staff. And don't forget the VIP visits. So after all this, very few men are left even for beat patrolling. How a police station works is that it's divided into beats. So every beat would have a set of 2 teams per shift, because 1 person has to be in the chowki also. So a beat will have 1 chowki, 24 hours manned, sometimes they are also not manned, then some beat patrolling, and to attend to these various from murder up to an accident. In that, very few staff is left for taking action against Hathbatti and gambling. Taking advantage of that, some officers and men, they become corrupt and they ignore, they do not take action. One very good way out is either to keep writing to your police chowki, or whenever that Hathbatti or gambling is going on, ring up 100. 100 responds well because it has vehicles at its disposal. And secondly, whatever conversation you have with 100, it's being recorded. That reminds me of an incident where when I was the commissioner, 2 young girls approached me. They had rung up 100 to say that they are being troubled by a few boys. So when they rang up from near the airport. The control room person who picked up the phone, he took the details and he asked them, where are you sitting, where are those boys bothering you? The girls were sitting in a coffee cafe day, CCD. So being not sensitive, he started questioning them, what are you doing so late in the cafe? And when those girls approached me, I asked for the recording. We were able to see who was the one who was on duty, and we could listen to the whole conversation and take action. So whatever is bothering you, your own chowki, your own police station, application signed by you. Citizens love to write but do not want to disclose their identity. And therefore we many a times close those applications as anonymous. And secondly, dial 100 for issues which are bothering you, including hathbatti and gambling. But please understand the constraint of a senior manager, senior officer, senior police station inspector who has to divide his staff as per the priority.
Some cops, including a police official, was harassing a guy who was not guilty and was beaten up badly. So what do you think should be the action should be taken up by citizens regarding all this?
What should I think should be?
Citizens do regarding all this.
See, now I don't have to tell you, you guys are very smart. You click photos with your mobile and you send us those photos. See, the days of beating or third degree in police station, they are over. And police people also, to that extent, they have understood that neither society, nor judiciary, nor citizens, nor political leadership is accepting beating by policemen, which was 30 years ago acceptable. So they don't do it. If they do it, citizens have to take an objection, because if we do not raise our voice, they get emboldened. So you can write about the incident like these 2 girls, they wrote to me and they met me as a commissioner. Commissioner is accessible to everyone. A 78 years old man wrote an email to me 3 days back saying that he would like me to intervene for X. And he himself 2 days later wrote to me, I met the commissioner. So your commissioner is accessible to you, your DCP is accessible to you. Now I am not commissioner for last 2 years. Still people approach me and they'll say, who is the DCP in our area? I tell them, go on net and find out. See, and I also find out, because I am also not aware which officer is posted where. I also go on net, his number is there, her phone number is there. Don't ignore. That's my message.
मॅम, धुळ्यामध्ये ज्या दंगली झाल्या किंवा मुंबईमध्ये दहशतवादी हल्ल्यानंतर 2008च्या आपले जे पोलीस आहेत त्यांचं पॉलिटिसायझेशन झालेलं आहे आणि कम्युनल राईट्स जेव्हा होतात तेव्हा ते न्यूट्रली त्यांचा स्टँड घेऊ शकत नाहीत. बऱ्याचदा आपण असं बघतो की पोलिसांनी बायस असतात नेहमी. तर याला कसं डील करायचं, म्हणजे पोलिसांचं जे पॉलिटिसायझेशन झालेलं आहे त्याच्याशी?
सी, हा 2 वेगवेगळे इश्यूज आहेत. एक आहे पॉलिटिसायझेशन ऑफ पोलीस. In 2001, I had gone for a fellowship called Hubert Humphrey Fellowship आणि मी 1 वर्ष US मध्ये शिकायला गेले होते. तर माझा विषय होता कम्युनिटी पोलिसिंग. बट we were given to particular university, like I was given to University of Minnesota, where I could also study anywhere. So I had joined law. Whenever I would talk of political interference, my professor would tell me, what interference? It is the legitimate right. You have elected a politician. So why are you questioning him now? Why did you elect him? Once you elected him, you have given him a right to, he would say it's not interference. It's a legitimate direction. पण आपल्याकडे काय, our democracy is that way relatively young. So our political leadership does not realize what is a legitimate order and what is a illegitimate, illegal order. Here, if bureaucracy and police is strong, which many a times we are not. We love to blame them, but we bow before them and carry out those orders. So, politicization is an issue if we are talking of illegitimate illegal orders. Otherwise, a public representative has a right. Now, second is communal riots and police not being able to maintain a neutral attitude. Accepted. But in Maharashtra, fortunately, very few police officers or men after donning uniform carry that attitude of a religion or a community. 99.9% are able to rise above that. That's why Maharashtra these days do not have communal riots. In one incident itself, the whole police force of Pune is working, and citizens and media are making it an issue. So, communal leanings are generally not seen in uniformed forces of Maharashtra, though I cannot totally overrule them, and again need for sensitization. See, we can't take action against a server which is not in India. पण आपल्याकडे एक emergency team आहे दिल्लीमध्ये, आपण त्वरित त्यांना फोन करतो and we see that particular derogatory remark or photograph or objectionable material is blocked. That we do. But now, besides all that work, 100% policing of the net, that has become very difficult, and what we have seen is if we block a site, in the meanwhile people copy paste in various other sites. So we are having serious thinking on how to handle this social media and its implications on crime. We are aware of this being a huge challenge. We are also aware of our own limitations, and therefore we also work with agencies like NESCOM. And in this also private sector is helping us a lot. But then most persons utilizing social media, they are very young and they are very quick. You saw that movie, na, that Wednesday. Ultimately it's a youngster who comes to the help. So I would like to assure all of you that we are very serious, we are very closely monitoring everything, but we are not able to give 100% foolproof results, especially when the servers are abroad.
There were a few changes in traffic rules. So how applicable is that going to be in Pune city?
No, I have not seen any. See, that's the whole thing. There is no quick solution to traffic issue. Just because of one very unfortunate incident, you cannot overnight change the rules. Can you imagine, you Google it, there is a site called National Crime Record Bureau, NCRB. All fatal accidents are registered under 304A IPC. 304A IPC, and National Crime Record Bureau, Google it, on its site find out the conviction rate under 304A. I don't think it would be more than 10%. In Maharashtra it is not even 2-3%. So the issue of people getting away with fatal accidents, I feel so anguished about it. We'll have to change lot many laws and burden of proof and some very vital technological changes to lead to conviction of fatal cases. Otherwise, I would say this is one of the, if you ask me to rate the issues before the country, it's one of the first 5 issues. It's so bad. So, but I don't agree with you that there has been some changes immediately after that. I know. It's already there. But tell me, how many of you can say that you frankly obey the signals? And especially early morning. See, when I was SP Satara, I used to have maximum deaths early morning on that highway, Pune-Belgaum highway. Because people think traffic is less and they just speed away. So that's a very crucial time, in fact 4 to 6, when the drivers are feeling slightly sleepy also.
While speaking about the challenges the police face in a city, while policing a city, you told us that trafficking is the most challenging one. And can we say that, I know that it is not an fortnight solution, but can we say that strengthening the public transport and diversifying its modes like metros and monorails can help administering the traffic in cities? Because you can then have less number or a shift from buying a two-wheeler to going to or using the public transport.
Definitely. But just imagine, since how long have we been talking of Pune Metro? So, when I talked of one, we take ad hoc decisions and our failure to have policy making decisions. So increasing this kind of public transport will definitely ease the traffic situation, but along with public transport, change in attitude of people. Once you see a cop on a crossing, everybody obeys the signal. And if that cop is missing, nobody obeys. And I can see the change. I am 30 years old in this department. When I joined Maharashtra, I am 81 IPS, but I came to Maharashtra in 83. So with my flag, that time I didn't even have a flag, but I had a jeep with that red lights. It's an ASP jeep. People would not dare to break a signal if my jeep was there. Today, even when I go with my car, red light, flag, they blatantly overtake and break signals. So, public transport will help, but you also need change in the attitude. But that we expect that other person will respect the law, other person will respect the signal, but I am in a hurry. And mind you, earlier I used to think it's men only, but these days I find women also making signals. This is a very good policy per se, if the constable is going in uniform, coming back from duty in uniform, the visibility of police will increase. One of my favorite haunts is Barista here. So I was thinking on my way back, can I stop and have a cup of coffee? You think in this uniform I can do it? So the constable who took his dibba early in the morning and is going back, त्याला कुठे थांबून वडापाव सुद्धा खाता येत नाही. Because once you are in uniform, visibility goes up like anything. You can't be yourself. Like I told you, fatal accidents are the issue in India. Similarly, I feel need for 8-hour shift for constabulary is the main issue of Maharashtra Police. You are asking a constable whom I told you is undernourished, overworked, underpaid. Just because we as citizens authorize him to wear a uniform, we expect him to work in Maharashtra. He is working 12-hour shift, excluding the journey time, which means he is working for 14 hours. And where does he go and stay? Either in our police lines, which are worse than chawls, or in slums. So do citizens really have the right to ask from him what you are asking? If you have a right, you can ask me. Because IPS is well looked after, therefore I am very bound to give you my best. We as citizens are definitely not looking after our constables, and yet we expect the best from them. Think about this, 12 hours plus 2 hours journey, 14 hours, and most of the festivals he is not given leave, because how can I give him leave when Ganpati Mede I need in fact more manpower. So think of this 30 years of service. I'll tell you, last weekend was the 5th week of the month. So we did not have 4th Saturday off because it was the 5th week. This week is the first Saturday of the month, so I will not have. With all the perks which I have, 15 days continuous working with only 1 day off, I feel low. I cannot give my best. And my nourishment level, my salary, the kind of living which I have in IPS, and think of this for a constable.
एक्सपीरियंस आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहूँगा मैं। जब मेरा पासपोर्ट बनाना था तब मैं वेरिफिकेशन करना था, तब लाइफ में पहली बार गया था पुलिस स्टेशन। तो वहाँ जाने के बाद मैंने उनको बोला कि उनको पूछा कि कौन यहाँ का इंचार्ज है पासपोर्ट का। तो एक ऑफिसर मेरे पास आया, उसने मुझे एक ऑफिसर के पास लेके गए, वो बोले कि 1000 रुपीज़ लगेंगे उसके लिए। तो मैंने कहा ऐसा तो मैंने कभी पढ़ा नहीं, मैंने कॉल सेंटर पे पूछा था कि कितना रुपये लगता है। तो मैंने बोला कि उतना तो मैं दे नहीं सकता आपको। तो फिर वो मुझसे बार्गेनिंग करने लगे कि फिर 500 दे दो। मेरा सर आपको उसका पेमेंट मिलता है, आप जो काम कर रहे हैं, तो मैं आपको क्यों दूँ पैसे? तो बोले फिर रुकना पड़ेगा आपको। तो फिर मैंने पूछा कि यहाँ का थानेदार कौन है, तो कोई बोलने के लिए तैयार नहीं है मुझे, सब भाग रहे थे इधर उधर ऐसे। फिर वहाँ पे कुछ टेलीफोन नंबर लिखे थे ऑफिसर्स के, मैं उसको ट्राई करा था, एक भी नॉट रीचेबल सब थे। पुलिस में एक भी फोन नहीं लग रहा है। फिर मैं सुबह 10 से शाम 5 बजे तक वहाँ पे बैठा था, फिर भी मुझे कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं मिला। फिर वैसे फिर मैं घर चला गया, तो फिर मुझे लगा अभी पासपोर्ट ऑफिस फिर से फोन कर दिया, फिर रिस्पॉन्स है। फिर 1 महीना रुका मैं वहाँ, फिर से वो फॉर्म वापस चला गया था मेरा, फिर से आ गया। फिर से उसने मुझे फ़ोन किया ऑफिसर ने, फिर गया, फिर से वो पूछने लगे मुझे कि 500 रुपये दे दो। फिर और बैंकिंग हो रही 100 रुपये दे दो। मैंने कहा सर मैं आपको पैसे दे नहीं सकता, मैंने ऑलरेडी मैं 1 मंथ वेस्ट किया आपकी वजह से। तो फिर मैं नेट पे गया, वो ऑफिसर का नाम डाला, उसको फेसबुक मैंने सर्च किया, उसका ईमेल मिला। बस निकल जाएगा। तो मैं विदिन 3 आवर्स मुझे फिर से फोन आ गया उस ऑफिसर से जिसने, और मैं जाने का तो मैं उन्हें एकदम झटके से 5 मिनट में साइन कर दिया पूरा और क्लियर कर दिया। तब मैंने सोचा कि मैम अगर वो कहाँ जाता है, तो अगर पता नहीं तो आप ऐसे कहते थे ना, चाहिए उसका बिल चाहिए काम करने का।
I totally agree with you, and it's a very big issue. हम पुलिस वालों को, all police station we keep telling them, it's a very good opportunity to make friends with youngsters, because these days they are coming to you for passports. See, 20 years back you were not going for passports. It's only after liberalized India that students and citizens, they go and they ask for passport. We keep telling them, we get these complaints many a times. They are 100% like the way you have said. I can make out with my 33 years of police experience who is telling a lie and who is speaking the truth. So we encourage them that earn the friendship of youngsters. But I agree, it's very unfortunate that some people, some police officers and men, instead of thinking of it as a window where they can earn the friendship of citizens and youngsters, they think of it as a money-making machine, and it's bringing such a bad name to us. But like I said, 304A is the issue. 8 hours working shift is an issue. One more issue is that citizens giving up if a head constable or constable asks for money. They just don't approach the next higher up. So please remember, policing does not stop with beat, head constable or a beat officer. You approach your senior inspectors, your ACPs, your DCPs, and the website, all the names, phone numbers are given. But because you are in a hurry, therefore they are tempted to take advantage of you. I would say we must clap for this young man that he waited for 1 month and did not pay. I agree a rural boy would have really suffered. He would have given $1,000 and he would have never felt any good for police. That grudge, it lasts because this is something which makes you feel I've been exploited. If X does something for you and you pay, you feel he deserved it, I paid. Here he is paid for verifying your character by the government, so he had no right to ask for money. Like 304A, fatal accidents being an issue. 8-hour shift for policemen, police persons being an issue. Citizens giving up too fast, being in a hurry, not approaching senior officers, not writing to us, not signing their letters, but holding that grudge in their mind, that ill will for police, that's also an issue. So whenever you invite me for such talks, for such workshops, I feel at least from my audience, some people will take courage and bell the cat, so that slowly the atmosphere improves. We are not expecting any magical solution, but if all of us work together consistently, persistently, if India has become from a closed economy to liberal economy within 20 years, we can also become a case of open governance. My all the best wishes to you for your exam. Thank you.